5th, 2022 minutes.
You have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you got that one done.
All right, we can skip 2 and 3 for now because there's really no updates.
Okay,
Wait, on 3, I have just a quick comment, okay, for the tree planting in the Memorial Arboretum. Recently, I talked to Kevin Fenning of Fernbrook, and we have a firm date now, June 16th at 9 in the morning. And what I'm doing now, I'm going to coordinate, that planning with Monica Tierney. I assume that's okay. I don't want to step on any toes, but I think it's okay for me to take that approach. And just to make sure all our ducks are in order and everything is going as planned. So as I said, I will coordinate that with Monica. And I think that's good news.
okay. Linda, have you been able to look at
plant trees in June? I mean, I know 20 years ago, but putting 20 years ago aside.
Yeah.
I thought that, generally speaking, you didn't want to plant them that late because nobody's going to be watering it.
Well, it's my understanding that somebody will be or should be watering it. We have gator bags, and we purchased about 20 or 30 of those. And the last I knew, they were behind one of the maintenance sheds. So they use the gator bags as far as the watering is concerned. They have to be filled about once a week. But we've had a lot of mass plantings over the years, and I'm pretty sure that we took care, of watering them at specified times. You're right, Suzanne. Of course, April, May is better, but this is, with the COVID, everybody is behind. This is the best they could do.
I just don't. I mean, if you're telling me that you guys are going to go out there and fill the gator bag once a week, that's great. If you're telling me that you have talked to Monica and she's already been able to commit that somebody will circle by and do it once a week, that's great. But their workloads are set. So I just wouldn't, want to assume without checking with her.
No, I'm not assuming. I'm going to be checking, with Monica and see exactly what happens. But quite frankly, if we can't do that, shame on us. And if we need more people constantly, what I'm saying is that if maintenance is short, and I know all these maintenance people in township, and they're really good, hardworking people, and I don't think personally that there's enough of them. I think we should hire 6 more people. And as I said in the past, that costs a homeowner in Lower Makefield Township $50 a year. So when I hear stuff like, oh, we don't have the people to do it or anything like that, that kind of falls on, deaf ears as far as I'm concerned.
Linda, have you had a chance to look at the Mirror Lake Patterson Farm site for the potential tree planting?
I drove by there yesterday.
Does it look okay? I want to make sure.
I mean, it probably needs to be mowed and some invasive species treatment. But if all we're going to do is plant big trees, then that shouldn't be an issue.
Along the road you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
we can
we
plant
do
a few along the creek. There are some spots that are open.
Yeah, there's a couple spots.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to move on that if we're going to do it in October. I assume it'll be an October planning.
Yeah, I'm going to take a ride past there, but I can't talk with I guess I could talk Fernbrook and Feeney's said I can't talk with them until July to find out their availability.
Okay. All right.
I talked to Kevin recently, and I think he, on the top of his head right now, he has a pretty good feel for what's there, but the official inventory will be done by the end of June.
Call after that. All right, any more on trees? Move on to number 4, land use. The 1566 subdivision submitted a revised preliminary final plan a couple weeks ago, and comments on that are due July 7th. So I'll start writing up something to distribute for you to look at. The new plans are not that much different than the old plans. They did a few minor changes. They did calculate the number of replacement trees needed. It's in the 700 range. And they say they don't want to comply with it. And they want a waiver because the site has unique physical conditions, which my comments will probably address that because there's really nothing unique about it as far as I'm concerned. Has some woods, has a wetlands, and that's not unusual. So Linda and Jim, you might want to look at the landscaping plans for it to make sure they're native. It looks like they're all native. And they are going to plant some replacement trees on site. And Linda, take a look at it. You'll see the majority of them are to screen the house that's going to remain the owner of the property from the new development. So they're putting a good tree screen up for themselves. I thought that was interesting. So take a look at that. The other projects are the 1101 Big Oak property. That's near the Bame Middle School on Big Oak Road. It's on the other side near that small horse farm. I talked to Jim Majewski, and the people there are getting ready to submit something on that site. And I only bring it up because I know we had some emails back and forth last year about potentially buying that for open space. It does have a house on it, though. That's the negative to it. One house, and I'm sure they'll want to build some more.
Excuse me.
And last thing is Prickett Preserve. They got their development agreement approved, and if you drive by there, you'll see lots of construction going on. And I will note that they owe $380,000 to the tree bank, so we have plenty of money to plant trees. They may plant some on their own, take responsibility for it, which would be great, but they haven't decided yet. So we'll hear about that probably in the next few months. So one way or other, we have money. We either have trees planted or money for trees. So that's a good thing. All right, so we're on to number 5, plastic bag reduction. Jonah, any progress on that?
So Supervisor Lundy is shaking her head with a no. Maybe you can fill us in if there's any update.
I just could say that, I know the board is busy, but hope we're going to get something out soon, but it hasn't gone out yet, as far as I know. When last I checked, nothing had gone out, and I checked late last week.
Sure. Supervisor Lundy, if you're able to share with us, is there a part, are you the supervisor who is most in charge of penning the letter, or
yes, I guess I took your letter and
Sure.
I revised it based on what the other supervisors shared, and now it's back, just waiting, so I'll try to see if I can talk to some people tonight to see if I can get it moving.
to get it moving, just for clarity, and I'm asking a lot of questions, even though I'm soon to leave town, and I don't know what will happen to my baby when I leave. But I just want to get some sense of clarity on the direction and what may be possible. Is this something that just simply needs to be added to an agenda for a Board of Supervisors meeting?
I'm sorry that I'm going to have to punt on that. I don't think it has to be agendized. I think that the chair can send it out, but you raise a good point. So maybe that's the stumbling block, and I hadn't appreciated it.
Sure. Is there anything that I or anyone on the EAC at this point can do to encourage Chair McCartney to send out the letter that you've revised?
I don't think you're always willing. You're always welcome to contact anyone. I don't think it's a attempt not to do it. I just think we have a lot going on right now, right?
Yes.
We'll have 4 meetings this month, and just trying to get everything taken care of. So
It's a lot on the plate, and I think it's multiple plates really. So I appreciate that it's difficult to find this time. I will try to before I leave on June 30th. I will try to send some reminder to Chair McCartney and to you, Supervisor Blundy. But next month I will not be here, as I've stated by email to other members, to the members of the EAC. My family will be moving northward at the end of the month, and I will not be anywhere near Lower Makefield for being a reasonable representative in any way. Towards the end of my term here, is there anyone who would be willing in the July meeting to take on checking in with Supervisor Blundy should there be any need regarding the letter on reducing single-use plastics?
they're all going to raise their hand. All of them.
No, I mean, it will continually stay on the agenda until it's handled.
Yeah,
So,
because I don't know how much we can do at this point, except for keeping it on the agenda.
Is there someone who would feel comfortable being the nudger?
Kevin says he is the nudger.
Kevin, I want to thank you.
I like Jonah's idea, though, about putting that on the agenda for the Board of Supervisors. When it's on the agenda, it's something that will, in fact, be talked about at a specific time. So I think that suggestion has a great deal of merit. So perhaps, Suzanne, you might want to look further at that.
I'm happy to relinquish most of my obligations in this matter in 21 days, and I'm happy, given the shortness of time, to move on to the next agenda item unless there's anything anyone else would like to add.
I guess that's it.
You're going to be
Okay,
missed.
thank you, everybody.
You're going to be missed.
Thank you. I'm going to miss work volunteering with everybody here, and thank you for the countless hours everyone has put in here. I'm going to allow us to move on. Thanks, though.
Okay, we're on to number 6, recycling. The May 21st event went fairly well. I think it went as expected, which I was a little nervous because it was a little complicated. We had to store the styrofoam in the township building, and then I rented a 10-foot truck, and with Kevin's help, we loaded it Monday morning and took it to Ray Bob. And my nightmare was me pulling up there in the truck and them saying, we decided we don't want the styrofoam. They didn't do that. They were happy to get it. So that is done. Did anybody else have any comments on the 21st event? Because it's time to plan for the fall event. We need to pick a date.
That's my comment.
What are we talking, September, October, I guess? Maybe October's better.
Yeah, I got a couple dates. What did you say, Kevin?
I just wanted to say we collected 2 5-gallon bins of batteries.
Wow, that must have been heavy.
There were.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of styrofoam. It's actually more than enough to fill a 10-foot truck. I had to take the last little bit in my car over there. So it was 2 trips. But yeah, this is successful. Let's think about, I was looking at September and October, and maybe either September 17th, which is Harvest Day in Yardley, or maybe October 29th near Halloween. We've done it both. In 2020, we did it near Halloween, and in 2021, we did it on the Harvest Day date. So does anybody have a preference? Because at this point,
What about the 22nd, or you go to the event or not?
the 22nd of what?
October 22nd,
Why then?
Saturday.
That's also a date for the yard waste drop off. I don't know if we got a few more people as they were bringing their yard waste by. I don't know if there's some synergy there.
Well, do you see that as a plus?
I mean, we definitely got one or two more people. I was actually a little bit nervous that it would be like bedlam in the parking lot, and it wasn't at all. So I just, if you're thinking about a date, October 22nd is a drop-off date.
Is September 17th?
No, September 24th.
That's a Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, September or October you're talking about.
Wait, no, September.
Saturday, September 24th. Saturday, September 24th, or Saturday, October 22nd. Those are the yard waste.
Okay, yeah, because I had the week before the 17th. All right, well, we don't have to decide at this point. Probably by August, we should decide which one. So think about it. And final recycling item, is there anything new on recycling in LMT parks? Jonah, you were gonna do something on that with Monica, the schools?
Yes, I reached out to Monica. I imagine that it has been a busy time for her. I know that there's a lot going on with Parks and Rec right now. I neglected to follow up after following up, though, because it may just be dangling a bit. And I'm sorry, there was COVID in my house, and it's been a little hectic. So we're all fine now, but it's been busy, and I dropped the ball. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so you tried to get a hold of Monica and she never responded? Is that where it's at?
No, that is definitely not what he said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, well, no, actually, that is correct. I did try to get a hold of her. I did write to her, but I did not hear back from her just yet. So we're waiting. I can send a reminder email, though.
Okay, is there anything that we need to do after you leave on the 30th? Let us know to help out.
I'll let you know. Thank you very much.
And it probably makes sense to copy in Alan or Linda or both as the co-chair, so that, when you leave, it naturally, the response goes to everybody.
Yes, I can definitely do that.
All right, moving on. Number 7, environmental lecture series. We've got a number of possibilities, and we have Lee online, and he had an idea for a lecture also that I sent out to everybody. So who wants to go first?
Well,
Jim,
why don't I go first? It'll just
Yeah, you
be
had-
a real short statement. I'm having trouble getting a hold of Colleen Michaels. I've tried several times, and I think there's, from what I'm hearing, there might be some health issues involved in her family. But anyway, I'm going to take a different approach and go through the Master Gardener Network. And by next meeting, I should have some kind of definitive answer if she's going to be involved in a full lecture or not.
In the fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or later in the year. I mean, whatever.
And Sumya, didn't you have something going, rain barrels or?
I was talking of different green infrastructure home systems. I haven't had the chance to follow up on my earlier conversation, so I haven't had the time to do that. We also had a COVID season, so we've been just getting back.
Oh, sorry. All right, Lee, are you on the call?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I haven't seen you guys since before the pandemic, so it's good to see you again. And Supervisor Blundy, as always. But I've got a class that I put together on the electric power system, how electricity gets from the generator to your house. And I've been teaching it, I was teaching it at Temple until the pandemic hit. And it's not a technical course. It's designed to give a layman an understanding of how the electric power system works, because the talk of renewables and incorporating renewables, a lot of people don't understand what's involved with that. And it's not just a matter of hooking up a windmill, and it's not just a matter of connecting a solar panel. There are a lot of other things that have to be considered. And basically, I just put together this class and I contacted Monica, and I thought maybe it would be a nice program to give at the community center. It could be, I would say, at the minimum, 1.5 hour sessions. But I could shorten it, I could lengthen it. When I was teaching at Temple, I did it for 8 weeks. And that just shows how much their material there is to cover. So it was suggested that I contact you to see if you folks could sponsor me doing it.
Well, off the top of my head, I think it's a fantastic idea because I've always had personally questions as to how this whole system works. And I think a lot of people feel the same way that I do. And I think this could be a real eye-opener, not only for me, but for many other people as well. I don't know if 2 1.5 hour lectures would work, or maybe 2 1-hour courses. It would seem to me pretty difficult to get all that info in a 1-hour course. So maybe the group wants to talk about it, but personally, I think it's a real good idea.
Yeah, a 1-hour session wouldn't cut it. That's for sure. But like I said, when I was teaching at Temple, I had 2 hour? I think it was 8 1/2, 2-hour sessions. And and it's designed for laymen. It's not designed for an engineer. I'm an engineer. I worked in the power industry for 45 plus years. So I have an idea of what it's all about.
Well, I think you could get for 2, let's say, sessions at maybe an hour, 1.5 tops. I think you could get a good crowd for that. I think if you're going to get into 3, 4, or 5 sessions, that people are just not going to be interested. But I think, again, 2, either an hour or 1.5 sessions, maybe a week apart, so there's some degree of continuity in people's minds, I think would work pretty well. I'd be interested in knowing what the rest of the group feels about that.
And just before I could, whatever you folks want, it's just I want to be able to present it, and I could make it, lengthen it, shorten it. I could do whatever you folks want. So it's up to you.
Maybe you could have one session that describes the electrical grid and the power system and that kind of thing. And then the next one, the consumer considerations you have here, because people will be interested in that. Definitely, I would think.
Yeah, whatever suggestions you have. Everything is interrelated. And so what the consumer does ultimately affects what goes on the rest of the power system. But I can break it down however you'd want. I think my goal is just for people to have an understanding of the power system so they know what the impact is of wind, the impact of solar, the impact of putting solar panels on your house. And also I would go into, I don't present numbers, but the economics. Do you really want to put solar panels on your roof? And especially when companies come and knocking and say, hey, we can sell you the solar energy for such a price. Well, I don't think that's not what you're going to be paying. That's not what you're going to be paying for. So there are just interesting things that I think people should be aware of and understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you could come up with an outline for 2 sessions. Well, you talk about the first session and second session, because we would need to advertise it, publicize it, and we want to make it, consumer friendly or whatever. So how they can get alternate energy and that kind of thing.
So what would you like me to, where should we proceed? Where should I proceed? How should I proceed?
Well, would this be on a Saturday? We'd have to decide on dates. Do you want to do 2 nights in a row, or?
I think a week apart would be nice, but I would prefer during the week, maybe in the evenings, during the day, whatever. Saturdays really don't work for me.
Okay.
Maybe in the fall, like 2 consecutive Thursdays, for instance, maybe in October. I think the idea, though, is to definitely keep them no longer than a week apart because, again, of continuity. And I don't know if we would want to look at some dates now or, I mean, why not? We can look at a calendar and let's see if we get into.
Well, I think we have to confirm, if we're gonna have this at the community center, we have to confirm with Monica what
Right.
dates are.
All right, but in October, if you're looking at a Thursday, you're looking at the 6th, 13th, 20th, or 27th. And so I guess somebody would have to, check with Monica to see if any of those dates work.
Right. Well, Lee, can you do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can get a hold of
I think it should be sent out from the EAC because, so Ellen, if you read the string of emails I forwarded you, it has to do with us sponsoring him.
Okay, so Lee, you've already emailed her about this, right? So she knows.
I'll send her, I'll copy, for now, I'll just copy you, Alan, but I'll keep you in the loop also, Lee, but I think it should come from the EAC.
All right, so when you do this, you're going to talk, maybe ask her, we need 2 consecutive.
Yeah.
And I think in October, the 6th, 13th, 2027, 2 consecutive weeks. And again, I haven't heard input from everybody on the council, but I personally think, as I mentioned before, that it's a good idea. I'd like to hear from everybody else as well.
No, I think it would be a good idea. When Monica first copied me on it, I thought it was a good idea. So yeah, I think the public would be interested in this.
What about you and Kevin? I mean, as far as you're concerned, and Jonah, do you all think this is a good idea?
I'm in favor.
I'm wondering whether it is too much in detail upfront. I would, like, if you're asking me personally, I think I'd be very interested, but do I have the time? Would I actually turn up? Maybe if there's an introductory session, which is just 45 minutes, which lays out why this is important and the key things, and then points me in towards more detailed sections, that would catch my attention. More than 45 minutes is difficult to concentrate.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Lee basically said is this is designed for the layperson.
It's simple enough. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is that he's gearing it to me. And if I understand it, basically everybody should have no problem understanding it. But I think that's the whole key of this thing. It's non-technical. And that's one of the things that got me a little excited about it when I heard what Lee was talking about. I think this would go over like gangbusters because a lot of people, I know myself included, just do not know how the system works. And I would find it fascinating really learning about it.
And all those power outages, help explain them.
No comment.
So when we publicize it, we can emphasize it. It is, for the lay person, it's not too technical, blah, blah, blah. So
But,
people won't get scared.
Alan, to address the point, I mean, I could make it less than an hour and a half, but I found teaching at Temple, I mean, I could eat up the first half hour, 45 minutes answering people's questions. But I mean, that's up to me as the presenter to control that.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. And that way
Yes.
People can leave if they want.
However you want to do it, just let me know.
I would I would second Sumya's concern just regarding length of time. I have experience, and I've also been told that after 45 minutes, people lose focus in a meeting, which makes many meetings that I've been part of fascinating. But it's just something worth considering and thinking about how many sessions and what to concentrate in each session.
Well, then maybe the ideal is 2 sessions, an hour each. Would that work for you, Lee?
Yes, I can make that work. Yes.
All right, and I think that's a good point that Sumia and Jonah are talking about. Personally, my attention span's about an hour. After about an hour, it goes in one ear and out the other ear, and I don't care what they're talking about. So I think that would be a good format, for October, and I think that would draw really a lot of people, 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so
All right,
you're gonna run this by Monica, correct?
that's
Okay,
the first step.
maybe by next meeting, we'll have, something definite.
Yeah, we'll have some dates, and then we can work on a flyer with Lee, publicize it, get the word out. All right,
Sounds good.
sounds like we
Thank
got a
you.
plan.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, Lee, thank you, but personally, thank you very much for your input. I always find this rewarding when one of our citizens takes an interest in coming to one of our meetings, and when they have some degree of expertise, sharing it with the rest of the township. So again, thank you very much, Lee.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, number 8, the webpage, newsletter, every bit counts. Anything on that? I guess Paul's not on the call.
No updates from me.
No updates? Okay. All right, we'll move on to odds and ends. Anything new on the Ready for 100 resolution and energy ordinance, Kevin?
No.
No? Okay. The next item was a draft comment letter on Play for All. I've started to put something together for that, and I'll send it out to everybody to look at in the next week or two. And mainly it tries to find reasons not to develop the Snipes track, which is over by Dorlington Road. So let me know if you disagree with it. Essentially, it emphasizes development of Makefield over Snipes. Because I think we can get more out of Makefield if we put in an artificial turf field similar to the one already there, and get some more groundskeepers, park and rec maintenance people. But you'll see it. I'll send it out in a week or two.
So far, regarding that last item in the Snipes track, it seems that the opinion of the Board of Supervisors and some of the people who did that study, that they're really looking at a mixed bag there with maybe some fields, some environmental trails, that sort of thing. So I don't know in the long run what's going to happen, but I think it's a good idea putting this together, Alan, to express our concerns.
Yeah, I looked at the previous plan from 2019, and it would be hard to have both with that plan they had of 4 fields. They're just.
But I don't think that plan, I don't think they're going with that plan. They've said that multiple.
They're not, but that's all we have to work on right now. But we'll see. But I'll try to get something out. And Community Day's coming up August 27th. Think about whether we want to have a table there. We did last year, I believe, for at least a couple hours. So I guess we can talk about that next meeting, whether you want to commit. But check your schedules, see if you want to do it. And though it's not on the odds and ends, are we going to have both a July and August meeting? Or do we want to try to combine them, or you want to do them both? Sometimes we don't do it.
My personal feeling is that if there's Zoom meetings are real easy. We're going to be probably in Vermont or who knows where. And, July and August, we've got still a lot of stuff going on, and it's like an hour. That's all it takes. So my personal feeling is to have one in July and in August.
All right. Linda, you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, Katie hasn't contacted us about meeting dates yet, so we'll see what she comes out with. Katie of the Township Building. All right. Number 10, we want to thank Jonah for all his work and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much, and thank you to each of you for giving me this opportunity to help out at the local level.
Mhm.
All the
Best
best,
of
Jonah.
luck.
Thank you.
Luck.
And thank you for being wonderful collaborators. I've really enjoyed getting to organize together, and thank you, everybody.
We
And
miss you.
yes, please stay in touch and let me know if you're in Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, we're very close. When we're in Portsmouth, we're only about 20 miles away. But I want to thank you also personally, Jonah, because you weren't with us a real long time, but the time you were with us, I think you made a very significant contribution to the EAC and to the people in Lower Makefield Township as well. And I want to thank you personally for that. And good luck in the future. And the same to you and your family, okay?
Thank you so much, Jim and Jean and everybody, Alan and Sunya and Kevin and Linda. I know Paul's not here tonight, but I've just been grateful to partner with all of you and to Supervisor Blendy, who I think may be off on the other meeting at this point. It's been a real pleasure and a real honor to be able to do this work. So thank you, everybody.
Will you drop us a line now and then and let us know how you're doing?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck on the move. That's always a challenge.
Yes, I'm just trying not to think about it instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, anything else?
Yeah, what about going back to number 2? We kind of skipped that. Is that skipped for any?
No, Jim just hasn't gotten in touch with me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. And yeah, think about this tree planting because, like I said, we've got lots of money, and we're probably going to get some more from this 1566 development that's being permitted now. So we got to, I guess the township could do some of the township actually is going to be planting trees along the new walking bike trail that goes around the Stoddard baseball fields and the Fred Allen field. They should be starting that any day now. And so those will go in the fall. So that'll be a lot of trees there.
Where did they get all that material from? Do you know?
Which material?
That they're going to plant.
The trees they're going to plant?
Yeah.
They're going to buy them from the tree bank.
I know, but where physically are they going to get? You said
I don't know. I was just talking to Jim Majewski about it, and he said it's not going to be till later this fall. So I think there's time for them to figure that out.
okay, all right. That that sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future we have to talk more at length too about what I was discussing earlier with Suzanne. In the long run, there's no sense in putting in thousands and thousands of trees unless we're going to take care of them. And that means maybe using gator bags. Shrubs is one thing, okay, but trees are a totally different, item when you're talking about long-term maintenance. So in the future, we're probably going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah. Fortunately, we haven't had any major droughts in the last few years, so that's helped the trees. But Jim Majewski also mentioned planting them at the Reagan track because they'll be redoing that drainage basin in the next year or two.
All right, so we're not talking about doing that though until they remove that low flow channel, right?
Right, they're going to do that first, and that'll probably be a township project, not an EAC project. Plant the trees.
I don't care whose project it is, as long as we're planting trees and taking care of them.
Yeah, yeah. Those trees should do okay because they'll get a lot of water being in the drainage basin. hopefully. All right, anything else?
I think that's it. And,
Yeah, they're gonna cut us off.
so we did a good job tonight, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully we accomplish some things. But yeah, I'll look into dates for the recycling event and send out the comments on 1566 probably at the end of this month. And that's it. So
I'll take a look at the landscape plan.
yeah, take a look at their landscape plan and let me know what you think about it. The argument is that it's so wooded, there's no place to plant the replacement trees. But you look at their calculation, it's a 21.7 acre tract and it's like 12.5 acres are woodlands. So there's still a lot of room.
Yeah, Alan, can you send me a copy of the landscape plan that has the tree species in it?
Right. I'll send you, and I'll send anybody the plans that they submitted. You know, there's like 19 sheets, and you just go through it and you'll see the right one. It's toward the back, the landscaping one. Because it's a PDF file.
I'm primarily interested in the species. I'm sure, I think Linda said she took a quick look at it, or you did.
Yeah.
And they're probably all native, but I'd like to take a quick look at it.
Yeah, this submission, they put in what they're going to plant in the rain gardens and detention basins. So you might want to look at those plantings too.
Okay.
It's a grass seed mix, you know, the herbs.
One last comment too on the Snipes tract, not the Snipes tract, I'm sorry. The large, what's the Prickett Preserve tract?
Yeah.
The last we looked, that literally every species was native in accordance with our, ordinance. But I just want to make sure that there were no changes to that, correct?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
They got to stick with the plan that was approved by the supervisors a year ago, March, I think it was. So yeah, and those were okay. So should be all right.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. All right, I will send you the plans. All right, anything else? Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I will make a motion to adjourn. But Kevin actually raised his hand first, though. So I assume you want to do it. And how about if I second it, Kevin?
All right, that's real cooperation there.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Kick down anyways. All right, we'll see you next month.